all retro gamers.
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all retro gamers!
Calling all retro
gamers!
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Calling All Retro Gamers, your bi-weekly excuse to just hang out with two dudes that love retro. I'm one of your hosts, Rich, from an undisclosed location that looks suspiciously like a basement. And we've got Ed. Roger, what's going on, man?
Man, it feels like it's been forever since I've been it has been since I've been on vacation or whatever. So it's been forever.
Yes. Well, and we got mad people here already, waiting to hang out and say hi. We got Michael 260 in the chat. What's going on? We got Mr. Shua in the chat. What's up? We got Lloyd R. Jim in the chat. What's going on? And Phantom Fiction. What is going on, my friend? That is 2. Can we get to 3 so we can get that GTC energy in here? I don't know.
Right.
Let's see. Yeah, Rich is in the Mystery Dungeon of Doom. Yes. Michael's here first time. Well, welcome to Calling All Retro Gamers.
Yes.
This is it is just a loose show. We talk about a lot of cool gaming topics. We hope you dig it, man. And then today we also have some extracurricular activities that are going to be happening during the show because life has intruded into Rich's world. But I refused tonight. I refused to not have the show. I was like, no, this is happening. Yes.
I need my stapler.
See, Phantom.
I love Milton.
Phantom and Lloyd R. Jim both know where I am.
I was told I can listen to music
at
a reasonable volume. I put poison in the guacamole. I don't know. It's my Milton impression.
Well, I might not have a red stapler today, but I do have a red screwdriver. What's up?
I just wanted to work at Best Buy.
I also wanted to work at Best Buy. That's good stuff. Oh, man. I worked at a Circus City, though.
Oh,
That's
wow.
some stories. I remember
those.
Yeah. Remember when they existed? I worked at a Circus City. That was rad, man. I love that place. It was a good time. So how's your week, man?
Well, I would say, mostly last week, whatever. It was, going on a cruise was awesome.
Yeah, man.
And it really wasn't a big deal not having internet or anything else. I mean, my wife did because one of us had to in case we had to check bank stuff. But otherwise, you have to buy packages that are more expensive. So no internet, only the Carnival like intranet, which is kind of neat because you could see what's going on, look at menus at any time. Me and my wife and my kiddo could message each other and all that. But it was just great. When the ship pulled away, they said leave reality behind, and so I did.
Nice, very cool.
Got myself not really a free drink pass because they called it a Cheers pass because you have to pay for it, but had lots of drinks and lots of fun going to the Bahamas and Key West. And
very cool.
Both
Really cool places.
Yes, and they did have an arcade, although
nice.
Played a little bit. I mean, they're it was $1.50, $2 a swipe, so more expensive than your game. But hey, you're in the middle of nowhere. But I did play some cool the raw thrills racing games. It was kind of mainly stuff like that, and we'll have a video on this channel at some point, kind of just showing off that arcade and
nice
me racing in it. The thing that was super neat, I forget what the name of that. They had a Fast and the Furious, which was fun for the force feedback. This one though, I can't remember the name, but you actually had to put on a seatbelt, and you could choose just chill mode, or I think they called it bumpy, but the whole thing would really move. And I did that one, of course, and it was great. You really could feel it.
Nice.
It was great.
It
always itches when we start to go live.
It's like a nervous thing, right?
Yep, it could be. I got a new mini PC here. That's cool, dude.
And also welcome, Mike. I know.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. My week has been absolutely insane. As it's the summertime, so it's pretty much the status quo. So it's not necessarily it's insane. It's just normal. But the amount of work output, hence actually where I am right now, is just absolutely crazy.
Did you maybe you didn't because did you pick up anything during the Steam sales?
Steam sales, no. And I tried to get in on the Amazon kind of things, and there wasn't anything. I was really looking for actually low-profile video cards, and there was a couple deals that were okay, but there wasn't anything amazing, so I just kind of like let that go. So
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Surprisingly, though, so it's weird because depending on what's on sale, like, so we'll start with Steam. Depending on what's on sale and my mood,
yeah,
like sometimes at certain times I'll buy certain things, or like if a game was like let's like 90% off and it's $1. So one game like if y'all watch like Retro Rob, he'll do like the mystery bundles that you can buy from Fanatical with keys and all that. And there's this one game called Paw Paw Paw. Where like you're like it's like a beat 'em up, kind of like Blocks Theater and like what is it like Castle Crashers or whatever the hell. And it's kind of in that art style, and like it's like you're like a bear or something, and like I don't know, the trailer it says like I refuse to wear pants, whatever. But anyways, that game like I saw here
you got wear pants.
Yes, yeah, kind of the trailer. It's weird. Might have to bring it up, but I think that might be like the plot of it. But anyways, it's normally like a $10 game that was on sale for 99 cents, and
okay.
Because I mean, I'm glad it went back on sale because when he did that, like I watched it later and I kind of missed out. I'm like, for 99 cents, I'd get here. Hold on a second. Let me share screen. As long as I don't forget how to computer. Yeah, I don't know. Let's make sure this isn't too loud.
I thought my fighting days were over. But when the king decided to enforce everyone to wear pants,
yes, yeah,
something.
I was like, okay, so yeah,
That's hilarious.
I mean, yeah. So I'm like, for 99 cents, definitely. I mean, it was like a no-brainer. I mean, it's probably worth $10, but I was just like. So there's that, and then a game I've been wanting for stop showing me find it so you'll have to see me fumbling around. Not that it was like a big like it's like another Halls of Torment. So my glasses on. All right, I hate like all these stupid broadcasts, but this one wasn't really like a huge sale. I mean, it was like 20% off of a $5 game, but there really wasn't anything else that I wanted. And so Hell's Torment, if you like Vampire Survivors, but you wish it was like in a Diablo kind of format.
Then that's this thing?
Yes. And so with the tax, it was under like $5. It's still in early access. But yeah. And what's cool is you can choose to do auto aim and play it exactly like Vampire Survivors, or you can choose where to aim. I like that you can do auto attacks. You don't have to like hold R. But yeah,
right.
It's a lot harder though, dude. It's like a lot harder. So yeah, I only spent like $5, but I mean there really wasn't anything else that like I wanted. I was like, eh.
I mean, but that's how the sales go, right?
Yes, and that's the kind of great thing about with Steam and all that, is that there's so many frequent sales, and after a while, like what goes on sale, And so I'm like, I kind of want that game. Fine, I might as well save $1, even though sometimes I like to wait, but I'm like, I want it anyway, because sometimes a game, if you can buy, if like a game's $5, if a game's like $5 and it's on sale for $1, then I might wait because I'm like, I can buy it anytime. So there's that, and then Amazon. So what did I get from there? So actually, I've been needing. Hey, Ian, hobbies.
Hey, what's up, Ian?
So Prem Days, I've been needing like a modern like tripod selfie stick, so that way if I want to like go into like full like ever Canadian mode and like game stuff or like show things off or just have also a selfie. So I got one of those that was it was an Amazon choice, but it was like had several thousand views for free. One of those ones that like $24 and it was $12.99 and it folds up. And then so then I got something more practical, kind of funny as we get older, because so kind of going on this cruise with my wife and daughter, they kind of had like overnight bags. They were like water resist, kind of like overnight / duffel bags. I didn't really have that. I kind of just had a smaller bag. I'm like, you know what? I really need like an overnight carry-on type of bag. So maybe it's a little bigger because I think it holds like 96 liters or whatever. But anyways, it's a duffel bag. It has a place where you can put shoes, which like this trip would have been nice to put in like, I brought like dress shoes and normal shoes and flip flops. But I'm like, my Steam Deck could like fit in there in its case perfectly. But like something like that was like maybe like normal like $30, 50% off. So like both of those things, so it's like those are practical thing, but I need like an overnight bag, and then it folds up really small. So that's I didn't need any SD cards or anything else. But yeah, it's kind of like if you need stuff like that, but it's like a good time to get things like that, or power strips, or I don't know, any of those like little gadget devices.
Well, that's cool.
But yeah, no need to go crazy. I mean, we do have a bunch of Evercade cards coming out, so no. But yeah,
right, yeah, no, there is that. We also have a bunch of like other things happening, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's been pretty cool. I mean, the one thing I will say every time I go on vacation, especially I think this time, is I do here's a play random things. I do feel more chill, and so I kind of like that. So yeah, had a blast on the.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, that's the whole point of the vacation, right? You got to get there and you got to do your thing.
But yeah, to unwind, and it was weird. Like I didn't miss internet, I didn't miss video games. I was just focused, having fun. I know that I'm back. I enjoy those things, but it's just it was just kind of it was just weird. Like from someone who will go in and check like YouTube comments and stuff constantly, and Discord, and did none of that.
Yeah,
it was kind of cut off from that, but yeah, all good stuff. And then the funny thing is like now like catching up on everybody's videos. Like I binge watched yours, I binge watched Geek Story, and I'm like, hey, just got back from vacation. Which, by the way, if y'all haven't checked it out on Rich's channel, he's been doing like a lot of cool, not just Magic the Gathering, but like Lord of the Rings Magic Gathering. Like he's been opening like booster packs and like I wouldn't call them collector's edition, but they're like the they're the
set boosters. And then
Thank you.
Bundles. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And so whether you like Lord of the Rings or Magic the Gathering or both, it's cool. The one thing that I like, I love all your flash, man. That's a spinning hard drive. I don't see many of those anymore. Anyways, and I wanted to say, just like if you like just fantasy or fantasy art in general, like Magic the Gathering has some of the awesomest artists, and especially like those Lord of the Rings are like really, man, like really cool. And then I was, and speaking of that, we're on the topic. I was blown away. I forget, I think it was on your channel. You did a thing about like how the $1 million ring was found.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's so there was the one of one, right?
Yes.
It was found in like a week and 2 days or something like that, by somebody in Canada, and they have yet to know whether or not they took the bounty. But what was crazy about the story was there was a store out in Spain, and they said, hey, if you find the one ring, plane ticket and $2 million for the card. And so that whoever pulled that out of the pack knew what they were doing, because by the time they showed the fact that they already had the card, they already had it PSA graded. So like obviously a collector got that.
Yeah. When I saw that article, they said the first thing they did is they put it in a vault and they got a lawyer. Like I don't blame.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's something like so hot. Like, why wouldn't you do that, right?
Yes, and that is something because for its authenticity, like you would want, like you do want to get that put in a protective thing and get that appraised. So what I think is great about that is it's like the card itself doesn't do anything, right? Like as far as like you can't play it in the game, it doesn't have any ability, but it's for the purpose of collecting. And I think on like Wizards' side, it was just brilliant on their end because it's like great. It's great advertising. Doesn't cost them anything. They just all they have to do is just make that one card. And then I think they said once they announced that like their sales went up by 50% or people were selling them more. So it's like a great like advertising gimmick.
People went absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so it wasn't necessarily that you couldn't play the card. You just can't play it in standard.
Oh, okay.
So. And as a matter of fact, in Commander, the One Ring is going nuts for people that play Commander. So that card, all versions of that card, that's the most expensive card currently in the set.
Oh, nice. Well, I think that's what they said. It was based like that was, but that one I think was meant for collecting. I mean, I guess maybe you could play it by why would you? But it was like based off of like a.
Oh yeah, well, so the artwork is special on it.
Yeah.
It is actually gold foil. Like real gold foil on the card, and also So there was something else that was cool about the card. Oh yeah, it's on all Elvish text. So it's it's meant the one of one is meant to be collected, but also it is just as functional because it is like a legit proxy of the actual One Ring regular card.
Okay. I'm glad you explained that. So yeah, that's right. It's Elvish. I'm like, well, you can't. Yeah, you couldn't read the. I'm like, it's in some ancient language. But here's what I think is
it's in Elvish.
Yes. What I think is so great is that like Wizards of the Coast, like in other words, they just didn't try to force it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes when there's that it's within the lore, there's only one Lord of the Rings ring. It's always called the One Ring, and so it was perfect, right? Like they made it fit the lore, and that's what I geeked out over.
Well, and the other cool thing is they're not the only serialized cards in the set. There is another set because they did it. The whole theme was about the rings themselves. But remember, like there are also the rings that were made for the elves, the dwarves, and the humans, right?
Yes.
So they reprinted versions of a card called the Soul Ring, which is a commander staple. And those versions are they serialize them by like 3,000, 5,000, and 8,000 or something like that.
Dang.
So because of that, then people are going nuts on the regular collector's packs. Even though the One Ring has been found, you can get the others, and some of those have gone as high as like $1,000.
Damn. No, that was weird. I don't know if you could see it, but like something interfered with your camera, like it went all wavy. It was almost like it was a bit all wavy, like it turned into a CRT for a second.
The lights.
I was like, "You got ghosts." Yeah. So,
I mean, it could be.
But here's the thing. Kind of what made me think of that. Like you said, that offer of $2 million. Here's the thing: if you think the card itself is valued at $1 million, like let's say that's what you think the most a collector is going to pay, that's a great deal. Because if you try to auction that off, and let's say that does go for $2 million, probably, I mean, they're going to take 50%. Or they're going to take a high, they're going to take a high commission for going through like a well-known like auction house. So I want to say, like, yeah, somebody offers me $2 million. My only thing is, I would be like, just come get it.
Right.
I'm like,
but that's why they offered the plane ticket.
Yeah.
So the guy that pulled it is a Canadian, but we have yet to know whether or not the store in Spain actually was it successful? Did the guy actually take the ticket? Because it was a card store in Spain that put out the bounty.
Yeah.
So and it's insane that how does a card store have $2 million just to pay for that one card?
Yeah, I know. I'd almost feel like that. I would be very weary. I'm like, you need to pay me like half or give me the money before. Because here's the thing, like transporting that, do you just be chill and like keep it, just like wear like a shirt and keep it in your top pocket, kind of keep an eye on it? Or do you put it like in a suitcase, handcuffed to your hand, but then like security is going to be all weird. And then they're going to be like looking at the card and you're going to be like mentally like freaking out, and then it's going to make, you know what I mean? That's what's like transporting it would be the most difficult thing.
Well, I mean, you'd have to hire like security, and then have it in a lockbox that's like tied to yourself or something. I wonder if you could, most insane thing.
Yeah, or just pay. Or, you know what? Or I wonder just like pay some company that does that and get it insured.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's a wild tale for sure.
Yeah. And that's what we do here in Calling All Retro Gamers. We just jump around from a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I mean that though. It's neat that like on Rich's channel, he's getting back, he's getting back into card games, because in the gaming world, it's difficult to be like unique, and so he's always changing it up. And I don't know if it's by design, but it seems like slowly his channel is becoming like Atari, Evercade, Sega card games. I don't know.
Those are the things that I mean, basically my channel is everything that I am personally passionate about, because if I can't create content on things I'm passionate about, then what is it, right?
Oh, which card? Hold on. I think I can find it. The One Ring.
Which deck do you have the high buzz? Oh, you need to buy collector's boosters.
Yeah.
But not the new ones that are coming out this fall, Ian. Only the ones that are currently out. The collector's boosters that are currently out, and they're going for some some of them are going for stupid high prices. They're normally supposed to be between $35 and $45 a piece, market value. Um, but I've seen them on eBay, and I was trying to get some on my own, but I can't find them for under like $150.
Dang. Yeah, collector. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. I see.
Just boosters. Yeah, it's insane, man.
So here's so the One Ring. So this is obvious. This isn't the one that's worth $1 million, but I think is this, dude. I just googled it. So like this is this artifact is OP.
Yeah. So just this past Tuesday on the community tab of my channel, right? There is a picture of 2 of those that got pulled in front of my face by my buddy Kevin.
Dang, dude.
Like, here at the office. Like I watched him pull it. He pulled one of them out of a draft booster, and then he pulled another one of those out of a set booster. And I was like, get out of here. I opened like I've opened like 25 packs or something like that. And the only one that I have is the one that came in my gift bundle. It's absolutely nuts.
But just so like this first, so like when it enters the battlefield, you gain protection from everything. And so basically, no matter what, you can't die. Like
yeah, not that turn.
Not that turn.
Yeah, that turn you get a protection from everything.
Yeah.
But then the other part that makes it broken is that you can tap it to draw a card.
Yes.
But and then you get a burden counter, and then every time you tap, you get cards equal to every burden counter you have on the ring, but you take a damage for every one.
Yeah.
But still, that's crazy broken.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you put that in a life gain deck, it doesn't matter because you're rocking like 30, 40 life anyway. So like fine, get like four burden counters and you just like get 4 cards. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Ooh, look at Ian.
Brothers War Collector Booster Box 12 packs. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so Magic is still in a huge way like a collector's boon. You know what I mean? Like people go after this thing like
so like the thing about Magic that's
in the past.
Oh wow, it is, dude. So much life. What's different about Magic? Yeah. So what's interesting, like Magic, like I want to like of all the card games that I played, like I want to say like drawing cards is one of the most OP abilities. Yeah. Because Magic is different in that, let's say you start off with like 7 cards, you probably at least 3. Like you hope that either 3 of those are going to be maybe 3 or 4 of those are going to be land. And right. You keep drawing land. So like resources are a lot more limited in Magic. Like you're not gonna be getting as many cards that you can play, or you maybe get lands. You know, but like drawing cards is such a big ability, and especially to your point, Rich. Like if you're in some type of life gain or like control deck,
yep.
You know, then it's like it does. You know, then it's like as long as you can still like somehow gain life or like live at like live with 1 health and keep going, then yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Damn, dude. I used to
work at a comic store. Yeah, man. Yeah, Friday Night Magic is a thing. It's still a thing. You know, so is the Pro Tour, man. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yes, one of these days I need to get into that or doing like the tournaments and like the boosters, like the booster tournament. Sealed deck tournaments would be fun.
Yeah. Well, we every once in a while we'll do a and one of those actually just happened last weekend. We'll do like a set party. When a new set
froze.
Me and
Rich is frozen.
What's up?
Are you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
You got solar flares going on in the base.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, again, it is. I'm not at all surprised.
Yeah. But there's some geeky things I want to get back into that, or like a part of me I want to get back into playing like Dungeons and Dragons, because you can kind of do that now, and they have like D&D Beyond where you can like create characters and stuff for free all online, and even like roll virtual dice.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, it's been actually for the fun of it. I just went ahead and decided to make started just to make like a character, barely because I've been listening to like Dungeons and Dragons podcasts. So I just kind of did that. But yeah, there's so many other cool things. But Magic definitely has a special place, and I was in it as a kid. And I think I've told the story that it was close to when my wife first met, living in an apartment, and like Magic the Gathering online was like really huge, and it's like I see, oh, this is a cool OP deck I wanted to play. What will that cost me? Because like what you could do back then is they had tickets for tournaments, or they called them ticks, but you could actually buy those. They're meant to be used like to enter in a tournament. They had tournaments all the time where you win cards and stuff, and you'd buy those from Wizards. And then that was the currency that you'd use to buy cards. Yeah. And maybe like, so And people had bots set up where you want like, ooh, I want to make this deck. Ooh, I want 4 of these like OP powerful rare cards. You could easily find them by anything. I'm like, okay, so to make this deck will cost me $150. Done. And then kind of been doing that, getting before I knew it. Like, so then, and this is why I think I have a weirdness sometimes with collecting, and why I want to be careful not to collect clutter, because before I knew it, I had like over $500 worth of cards, and things were kind of getting out of control. I mean, eventually I sold I sold my account, either broke even or made maybe like $100. But it was just kind of that feeling, that kind of that pit kind of sinking in your stomach, in your stomach. I mean, luckily then we were single, had an apartment together, but I really shouldn't have just dumped all that money. It's like I kind of felt sick to my stomach. Like, oh, this is just digital. In a way, this is worthless. I can't do anything with it. It's kind of a weird. So that's what I was collecting. That's why I like these kind of like physical guys behind me, because it's something nice and cheap without spending a lot of money on retro games. And that's why, like with Steam, like if I buy a game, I legit want to be able to play it like within a week or two, or not get it, because you just don't want it before you know it. You just don't want to have. So that was kind of just a weird thing. Like, it's fun to be into a hobby or something, but you just want to be careful. Like, oh my god, I just threw a bunch of money at this and I didn't realize it. And now what do I do? And and all that. So that's why sometimes I'm kind of fickle things. I mean, some people do like collect. Like Pete is a great example. Like, he loves to correct variations of all different consoles, and it's cool if like he has everything set up and organized. Like, for me, that would be like daunting. Like, I would be overwhelmed by like too much of. So it's kind of like to each their own. Like, or like you have like a very few select consoles, like the Retron, the Polymega someday. Hopefully before
someday. Well, we got some news. So like the news that came up for Polymega. Well, there was the huge announcement. I think that was actually while you were away. It was the Polymega Atari Crossing of Worlds.
Ooh.
Atari put in, was it $5.3 million or something like that in an investment in a venture with Play Magi. The Play Magi is going to be making a Atari 7800 and 2600 module for the Polymega, and Play Magi is putting the Polymega app on the Atari VCS.
Dude.
So it'll work with Remix.
Wow.
The VCS will just work with Remix. That's huge.
So the cool thing would be, so in theory then, like on your PC, if you have the PC with the CD-ROM, those are rare, like your working designs, the Sega Saturn games, like in theory, you should be able to convert those to that app, let's say on your PC, and then be able to use the Polymega app on your VCS while you're waiting to get the actual.
Yep.
Wow, that is huge. Yeah, I saw some things about it. I haven't watched those videos. That's. I like the fact that they have the Atari modules, because the thing, I mean, dude, Atari games are cheap for the most part, unless it's like maybe like a super good condition of like Hero or something that might be like $50.
Yeah, right.
An external CD-ROM, but that is neat. I'm like, I wish the base unit wasn't as expensive.
We got some internal CD-ROMs.
There you go. No, that is awesome. I'm glad Atari's partnering with them, because I think maybe like Polymega needed that. Maybe that'll maybe if they do that, I wonder then if they might like merge the VCS store of the Polymega, discontinue making the VCS hardware, but now everything will just be on the Polymega, which would actually be really cool if they did that. Like, you'd have the VCS store, they have the Atari module, you have all that would actually make more sense, and maybe now they're able to.
I mean, that would be kind of cool. I mean, unless they. I mean, I would still like a VCS, to be honest.
Of course.
Exist.
I know,
but that's actually not a bad maneuver, because if they're going to keep making their hardware, and Atari needs a hardware partner, and in turn, Play Magi gets like lots of cool Atari games. I mean, that's not a bad thing. Speaking of Atari, I mean, they've been hitting the news every week on week with some kind of announcement. It's absolutely insane. It's like, wow, okay, Atari's like crazy back. There was an announcement today. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing.
So why? So then I'm like,
it's still expensive. They need to solve that problem before it becomes a viable solution for anyone that isn't a collector.
Dude, they do. Or I would even be happy. Why couldn't they just why couldn't they just maybe make a Polymega Light, something that's like significantly cheaper?
That's what the remix is. Polymega Remix is Polymega Light. It's $150, and then you get the modules, which are like $70 a piece. And then you plug the modules into Remix, and then Remix into whatever, your computer, the Atari VCS,
right. But
whatever.
And I think that might be more like with a CD, I would want something that like maybe like, why couldn't they do it? Maybe this is Fantasyland. $100. It's just for Atari it's just for Atari modules. There's no external drive. You can't rip anything. You can put in the cart, but it's 100% compatibility. You can play all homebrew. You can play new stuff.
So that's what VCS owners want.
That's what
VCS owners have been wanting. And when the news broke about Polymega Remix and Polymega app working with the Atari VCS, that's exactly what the Atari audience said. They're like, give me something that isn't because they said, okay, the remix is cool, but I don't want to pay $150 for the remix and then $75 for the Atari module. I just want the Atari module. Mm-hmm. When is the pre-order for the remix? I haven't heard anything about that. So the pre-order for the remix isn't live yet, but those announcements for those things should be coming in weeks, not months, or at least updates to those things should be in weeks, not months. That's direct by Play Magi staff inside of the official fans Discord. Now, again, here's the other side of the coin is, much like other companies, wink, wink, nudge, nudge that we know, their stuff on timeline is grain of salt only, right? So Play Magi says weeks, not months. Well, it could be a month or two before we hear from them again. However, they were almost right on time with this Atari announcement. They missed it by maybe a week. So I do have a little more confidence that they're going to get more stuff. Plus, they're starting to get flush with cash. So they gotta start updating us soon, because once that hey, well, you got a whole it's not a metric but ton of money, but it's more than you had yesterday.
Yeah.
You got to just start doing something with this, or your audience is going to get mad. So,
if they had something with a cheaper point of entry, because I tell you, and that's what I'd like. Okay, when it comes to retro stuff in general, honestly, most people don't want Atari game, and like your general retro collector, they don't want Atari stuff, which is good for people like us because they're cheaper.
Right.
I kind of when it comes to Atari, I feel like it's like Japanese NES and SNES prices, meaning you can get a loose game unless it's something super rare, you can get a loose game of $2,600, $5,200 to $1,700 between $5 to $10. Right. You know what I mean? It's actually affordable if you just want the loose. You know what I mean? Yeah. And some games that are in a sealed box, maybe $20 if it's Missile Command. So it's so it's. And that's kind of why I want that, because right now, if there was just a cheap point of entry, I'm wouldn't it be just kind of fun to be able to play Atari games like that and then get the occasional homebrew? And then the other modules that I would get at some point, maybe then I'd get an NES module if that wasn't too expensive, because maybe there's some other Nintendo games that'll never go. Or if they had the Game Gear, do they have the Game Gear / Sega Master System module?
No, but that's in the works.
See, that's because there's a lot of loose Game Gear cards that are $5, that are $5. They're super cheap, and then Sega Master System, that would be neat. For me, I would get Atari for the nostalgia and just exploration of other Atari games I didn't play. Just to be able to play Breakout with paddles, to plug into that would be super awesome. I think I could get my wife to play that, because she had an Atari, she had that. But anyways, there's some things that if it wasn't too, if I could pay $100 for the base unit and then over time pay $50 per module, yeah, there's a few of them. And for me, I don't need all those extra features. I don't care if it can save to USB. I kind of want to, for me, I want to kind of put in the carts every time. I'm not going to have super rare games that I don't want to have wear and tear. Either that or they don't have a Game Boy Advance module either, do they?
Yeah. No. See, no handheld modules yet. But
see, then that would be cool too. Because I have a lot of those loose carts. So yeah, I think they're getting there, and so I guess the sort of it is having Atari kind of pave the way, and that's what I'm glad to see Atari doing what I think Nintendo should be doing, but because Nintendo has all their, they're the Disney World of gaming, so they can do whatever they want. But I like how Atari now is like they kind of have to be scrappy. They have to reinvent themselves. They're starting to do that. Like they need, I'm so glad that.
Well, I really gotta applaud them for the stuff that they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, by the way, hey, no worries, Shua. Like, I mean, I get it. Like as far as that stuff goes, and you're absolutely right. Play Magi puts Polymegas in people's hands, and television hasn't done that yet. So, I mean, are the stories different? Of course. I mean, in Play Magi's case, like they got some units out, right, and then couldn't get other units because their major fab was in the middle of like a literal war zone. So like that's a different story from even in television, right? But you're absolutely right. And television needs to start like getting up and moving towards the ball so they can actually hit it. Like they just need to do that. But I do know people that are involved in like that circle, and at least it's not.
Uh-oh. He's frozen in time again.
Did I freeze again? Seriously?
Yeah, you're still frozen. There we go. I can hear you.
All right, cool. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So, but anyway, at least there is stuff happening. Like it's not stuff that people can see, right? Obviously, because they haven't like officially put anything out, but at least they're doing something. And I'll give them credit until I hear that they're not doing anything anymore. And then the credit goes away. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And that's where I'm at with that. So, but anyway, I mean, but on the Atari side, dude, like they're just crushing it. Like, did you see the announcement today for Lunar Lander?
You know what? I saw that our friend Ballistic Coffee Boy, friend of the channel. I saw that he'd put out like a video, and I added it to my watch list. So here's all you should know. So here's some other challenges that are standing in my way. So it's like coming back, watching that, playing video games, but like The Witcher, for example, like the first 5 of those episodes are up. So it's like there's some shows like there's some show. One of the things with Prime is that you could get like certain like channels like Stars. You could get for 99 cents, and like me and my wife are into like watching Outlander, and this season's going to be huge. There's like 16 episodes. There's like some of these shows just started to go ahead and come back, like Dark Side of the Ring, which since you did wrestling stuff to tie in. So just to kind of go off on a tangent real quick. So Dark Side of the, I love watching that, and I love discovering all these wrestlers, like finding out like about Legacy, the Ultimate Warrior, Junkyard Dog, all those like kind of cool people. But the sad thing is that if you see within the first 5 minutes, most of the time that wrestler doesn't come on, they died tragically. It's
a sad like piece of entertainment to be watching. Like it really is. Like I feel for those people because like they really do try to like entertain you, but also like the cost is just, I think it's way too high.
It's
I really do think it's way too high.
It's the brutal cycle of just being on the road, being in physical pain from having to do this stuff every night, mental pain, then getting addicted to painkillers, and then of course like I'm calling out someone like Vince, McMahon. He doesn't have anything to take care of the wrestlers. It's not like there's like an Actors Guild union or anything, so they're on their own. And those guys, it's like, well, let's say like wrestling is, let's say like fake and planned. Those guys do real stunts and they get hurt and
unless of course you're in the in crowd, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're somebody that Vince wants, like you get, like, it's not like they don't have the facilities.
Yeah.
Well, they've said like the WWE has some of the best medical facilities on the face of the planet.
You mean if you're Hulk Hogan, you're good. If you're someone like that, yeah. But it's just
if you're Hogan, you're Cena, you're you're
yes. Yeah,
and you're good.
Yeah, if you're the cash cow, but yeah, it was nice for the nostalgia, but then just like the sad part, and then we'll turn this into a wrestling chat, but then you find out someone like Owen Hart. So first off, I want to say I was amazed at like how a lot of wrestlers came from Canada and all that, which is very cool. But the sad thing about him is he had a plan. Like he didn't get into the drugs, didn't cheat on his wife, didn't get any of that stuff. But he had to come back as an inferior version of himself called like the Blue. I forget what the hell. I don't want to spoil his whole story, but to make a long story short, his thing is he would like propel down from this building, and then he like died because it was unsafe. I mean, yeah, the family sued, but it sucked because like he was legit gonna get out, didn't get the drug. But you know, it's like wrestling. Does there's you know, like you know, just they don't call it Dark Side of the Ring for nothing. But
right. But
anyways, but so like some of those shows have been coming back. So yeah, there've been a lot of shows that I watch with my wife on my own, catching up on YouTube. I didn't get a chance to even watch like Summoning Salt before I left, and so I've got him there.
Yeah, you know, man, like, that was a good vid.
He's always good.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's stuff like that. There's a lot of things, and then I still need to work on like memberships and all that. Which I'll do. There's some plus when you get back from vacation, you're just in that mode, and then I just have to kind of get myself back into that mode of wanting to do things. So there's just so much stuff, and I'll get there, but it's just like, man, I kind of hit you like, it kind of hits you all at once. And then we kind of talked about, and then we had the Megatech news drop, and hopefully I'll be able to join Saturday from an undisclosed location, and then different people have different takes. And I had like a real hot take on it.
It's a thing.
So all I kind of want to say, and for those of you who probably watch a video on my channel, and this is, Evercast too. So for those of you who don't know, like Blaze has another like sub company called like Hyper Megatech. And I kind of thought that it was going to be like novelties, or like if they came out with, maybe they'd come out with Capcom figurine. I thought they were going to come out with other merch to complement the collections.
Well, and it's actually what they implied.
Yeah. But for me, I'll say, and I kind of where I think a lot of people have the biggest problem at Blaze is just like, hey, we just want to make a cheap knockoff handheld for this market. We're going to sell it for $40, and we're just going to include embedded games and not have an Evercade slot. I would be totally fine with it. I wouldn't, but, the fact I may not be able to join this Saturday. I'm going to try to for, a disclosed location. So I got to talk a little bit about it, but if not, definitely the next, which I hope I can, because I've been like missing doing that. So I think that's kind of the big problem, is that some people think it's cool, another opportunity. There's some people that are in the camp like myself, like this is a cheap Evercade knockoff cash grab. Like, why are they doing this? To me, I kind of feel like they're pulling an arcade one up. I just like, come on, guy. I don't know. I kind of stand by that. Like, if my local retro store had it and I could trade something for it, I would maybe pick one of these up just to see for myself, just to review it. But at the same, I get what they're trying to do, but because to your point, what you're saying, because Evercade is such a small community, I don't think in the long run it's going to be worth it for the backlash and for people like us to just kind of feel like a little betrayed and kind of weirded out by this. Because I mean, how many sales? Because and my main few problems that I have is, for one, that they're not going to update it, and they said it'll never need updating, which we know is a lie, because they even said, like, with the OG handheld, we may need some fixes. Like, nobody could guarantee that. And then the other problem that I have is their focus.
But wait, let me back you up. Back you up. It's not an Evercade.
I know.
That's why that, here's your ellipsis. That's why they said that.
I know, but it's just.
I get it.
I feel like
they were the ones that put the Evercade slot on there, so therefore the fans of Evercade have a right to say the things about the Evercade that is known, right?
Yes.
But so they guarantee compatibility for the 45 cartridges that are going to be out, right? Well, you don't have to guarantee any more than that, because also, like, it's $60. You get a thing that also has a thing where you can put other things in it.
Yeah.
Now, like, 85% of the time, when you give these as gifts to people that have like no clue what an Evercade is, no one's gonna care.
Well, see, that's my whole thing. Like, they shouldn't have put the Evercade slot on it.
Yeah, but here's the thing: what's the biggest way of putting a advertisement that you do something else on a different company than literally giving you the compatibility to do it right there, right? Even in a small way, it is the back door, or your gateway. This little device is your gateway, your gateway to Evercade. You know what I mean?
That's what I get. But
it's not for us though. I
know. But there's one problem with that, is that, like, right now they say it's compatible, but let's say like a year down the road, let's say somebody gets this and they discover a cart that they want and they put it in and it doesn't work, then it's kind of.
But that's a year from now.
I know. It's kind of a bummer.
They said 45 carts and they said 500 plus games.
But they're
calling it at that.
But and that's why when I put the screenshot, but the problem that I had too is that they did say in the video, or actually let me show you this. They said it was kind of like the OG, like it'll never require update.
Right.
The big, yeah. And for those of you who watch my video have seen this, but like the biggest problem that I had also too is this statement. Where the hell is it? Yeah. Is that it just said it'll take it will be compatible with all current plan and upcoming cartridges. It will not require firmware
planned
updates.
And currently planned upcoming.
Yeah,
that's all one word. So,
I know, but it's
so that statement says everything until Indie Heroes 3.
Yeah, but it's I don't know, it's kind of shady. So here's the other thing too that I think would have been better is that I'm kind of like, and he kind of hear, and so here's if I don't give it another cast, here's kind of my hot take. Yeah. If Blaze can't get a license, let's say for something like Taito, and the only way for them to get that license is to put it out on some inferior, like handheld, like for me, like that looks like really cheap. And that's why I kind of said like they knocked off themselves. Then they should not go after that license. They should use the money and resources to go after other stuff that they can.
That's, I could see that argument.
That's because here's the other thing too. Here's the other thing too that I don't think they realize. You still have people who are just VS users who will never buy the handheld that still feel alienated that they're not getting a Capcom collection. So
there's that stuff too.
Right? Yeah. And what I think would have been better is if they said, hey, because of this, we're getting a physical Taito cart, guys, or hey, because of this, we're giving you guys a free firmware update on the EXP, and you'll also get the Taito collection with the Capcom. Something like that would have been better than I would have been like, oh,
but we don't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But for as much as I love I love Evercade, I love those guys, I feel like there's some PR moments like this that are a huge miss. Like they should, know.
But again, there's certain things in this industry where the expectation of the consumer based on like embedded knowledge, right? Us.
Yeah.
We're super fans of the Evercade and Blaze Entertainment's products, right?
Yes.
We have a podcast and we talk about this stuff every week, right? We know all about it, right?
Yeah.
These are all valid concerns. The only problem is we have no idea what happens when Andrew or Ryan or Sean sit down across the table from like insert big licensee name here and they're lawyers, and then what happens? You know what I mean? If they have to take baby steps in order to get to like bigger things, then like I guess they have to take baby steps in order to get to other things. We don't know that in this thing, right? Maybe they sign the agreement for this Taito thing and then say, well, your goal is to sell 30,000 units. And if you sell 30,000 units, we'll give you the licenses to make the card.
See, I mean, I know like there's like NDA, but I wish they could be a little more transparent like they did and said, hey, this is the only way we could get Capcom. I wish they could say, hey, this could open it. I wish this could open. I wish they could be a little more transparent.
Well, I mean, everybody wants that, but you never know. It might actually, you never know, right?
Yeah,
it could be a thing.
Because here's the thing that's why I said they become the one. We'll hopefully maybe talk more Saturday. But here's what they risk, right? Because the Evercade community is small. If we start to see things like a Pac-Man collection, if we start to see other things that we would have wanted as carts come out on these little crappy handheld, cheaper devices, that's really going to make a lot of us angry. And I could see Blaze, like how many sales do they expect to get that they risk losing a lot of their existing customer base? Maybe not. I don't know. That's, and I think, but with me though, what bothers me, it's just kind of more their focus, right? Because like Sean even said that, the market right now is for the bigger handhelds like the Steam Deck, and they do this. And that's kind of my main concern, or my main thing, if anything, my main thing that that maybe could say that I nitpick when I talk about Blaze, that sometimes I feel like that they lose their focus. And I wish what they need to do, I wish they would just focus on carts and fixes, and that's it. No new hardware. I don't know. Speak of the devil, I summoned Pete, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I will say 100% that not only do I agree with the fact that, hey, you know what, it would have been great, not hardware. I am, and I did say this in my video, I am deeply disappointed that the Hyper Mega Tech the first launch thing, this is my hot take, wasn't something that you can put a plug in, right? Like I didn't want something that was electronic that I could do a thing that plays video games on it for the first thing that came out of Hyper Megatech. I just didn't want it.
Well, wireless control, yes.
Like that kind of thing. Like Hyper Megatech is like, oh, here we're making this really awesome arcade stick or something like that. That would have been cool. Like we're making like 8-bit doughish kind of things. That would have been cool. You know, if we were going that route. But I really, dude, they said the word board game to me.
Yes.
And the first thing that they announced didn't actually have a board game. And I'm like, dude, no, man, you got to give that to me.
Exactly. We thought it was going to be more of like a toy company that weren't just like that wasn't like the same. That wasn't like the same thing under another name. And that's kind of the whole. Yeah, that's kind of the whole thing. And then I kind of agree, like with Pete in his video, he's like, well, why did they need? Why, you know, if they were going to release this, why did they need to release this under Hyper Megatech? They didn't really need another company to do it. I'm like, I know.
Right.
Maybe people like you said, the people who aren't in the Evercade ecosystem, they won't know that like Hyper Megatech and Evercade are connected, but we do. I don't know, and it's just
and that's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
That's also the reason why I'm not here with the pitchfork about the handheld because it's Hyper Megatech, right? And if the thing flops, it doesn't work out. It gives them the out to walk away. You know what I mean?
Well.
So like, and if they do that and it flops and they walk away and Hyper Megatech doesn't exist after this because it was like a failed experiment or whatever. Well, okay, but it wasn't Evercade that did that. You know what I mean?
That's, you know what, Rich, you hit, and I kind of want that to happen, and as long as it doesn't harm Evercade, because then I feel like, so here's kind of my whole thing, right? And I think here's what, you know, and maybe I'll talk about more this Saturday, but here's the reason why a lot of people like myself felt hurt or betrayed is that we got, yeah, exactly, Evercast people. Yeah, I know, Pete. I know. We tried to resist towards the end.
It came in right at the right time. We almost made it a full hour without.
I know. I may not be able to be here Saturday because the family obligation. But anyways, so here's the reason. Here's the reason I want to sum it up. I love how you keep showing. So here's the reason: is that there are so many legit and knockoff digital only devices, from like Switch to Steam Deck, to whatever else, to unlegit. There's so many of those devices. And when Evercade came out with this, yes, we know it's simulation. Yes, we know it's like it's an SD card it's an SD card if you look at the base level, but everything is packaged nice. It's made collectible. And we all kind of felt like, hey, this is just like the one device. We don't want there to be any piracy. There's so many other options out there. Can we just have this one thing? Give us this one nice thing, right? And that kind of made all of us feel special. There's a niche market. And then when Blaze throws out this kind of inferior, cheap-looking, you know, that it felt like a slap in the face. Same with when they just put up a digital store. I'm like, come on, guys, don't taint the brand. And I think, you know, that was kind of, you know, I don't. And then it kind of makes us worry, like, you know, is this going to take away from Evercade? You know what I mean? Is this going to take away from Evercade itself? And then there's a lot of unknowns and people were. And then now I'm like, are they going to be able to pull off like the Duke Nukem carts? Is there going to be issue? You know what I mean? Like all this stuff starts going through our heads. And that's why we're like, guys, just focus on what made you special, which is just getting good plug and play, good carts, have everything be there. Come on. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my soapbox.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, hopefully I will Saturday get to try out my new tripod. It just kind of depends on what we're doing. But God, if I can't do that, that'll be 3 Evercasts. My God.
No, man. Well, I mean, hey. Well, now you know what it feels like to be me sometimes, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Because, like, you know, I've got life pulling me in all sorts of different directions, and I love everybody. I love just hanging out. But
yeah, so what's funny and what I've had to do is I've had to actually, I've actually had to take a page out of Rich's Guide to Making YouTube Videos for that reason. And what basically, and I'm being serious, and what that is it's utilizing more functionality of OBS and setting up OBS so that way you can go ahead and you can get a recorded video in one shot and not have to go back into Premiere and do a million edits.
Yep.
Because maybe sometimes literally you might only have like an hour and you're like, okay, I can sit down at my desk. I can do my takes. Oh, Geek Storian. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. I finally got caught up in all your videos. Just want to let you know I wasn't ignoring you because I don't know. So yeah, and you saw my comments. I finally got caught up on your corner. So yeah, I've had to do that. So if you ever do see a video on the beginning that says "Please stand by," that's because I have everything planned out in my head. but I didn't have the time to sit down and do editing afterwards. If you kind of see that intro, especially when there's like usually when there's like breaking news and stuff like this, you know,
right?
Stay busy on vacation. I know, man. I know. I know. Yeah. It's kind of weird sometimes. Like I just feel like obligation, like when you're used to like people commenting on your videos. Oh, by the way, 2Geekstorian, and he just real quick, he's getting dangerously close to 1,000 subs. I think he's like at 960. So
yeah,
like, come
man,
on,
get that guy over there.
Yeah,
get it.
Yeah, I was saying.
Also,
sub to his channel if you're
also,
not
Nick, I need to stop lurking on your channel because I watch all of your videos while I'm like doing other things. Like I watch your videos while I'm doing like laundry, or like I listen to all your stuff while I'm like doing like other things. I need to actually stop doing that so I can actually talk to you because I do miss you, buddy.
There you go. No, see, that's editing is cool, but sometimes, but you know what I mean. Like I do enjoy editing, and you can add stuff to your videos, but sometimes you have to make a decision. It's like, well, where it's just like I either do the video like this or I don't do it. You know what I mean?
Right,
You'd rather do the thing. Oh my God, Pete's hilarious. It's almost as bad as putting on hand makeup for my videos. I think he's kidding, right? I think. although what's funny. What's funny though is now I'm imagining like during like Evercast, because Pete doesn't show himself, like during that he's getting ready, he's like putting on his hand makeup because after Evercast he's going to record more videos. Like he says he has other obligations, but he's that's hilarious. I just had like a funny image of Pete putting on hand makeup. Maybe that's awesome, dude.
It's like his secret full-time job is a hand model.
Cool, Mike. And what I like about Nick's channel, like if I'm comparing him to other like documentary type things, is that on average his videos are like 5 to 10 minutes. They're well done, and there's oddities, there's gaming moments. Like he changes it up enough, and it's great. And sometimes so it's like it's like really cool. Like they're like the perfect length that they need to be. Sometimes they'll be longer. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, it's a little cover up my white gloves for non-video times. Nice. So yeah. But yeah, he should get to 1,000. I know, like I've creeped up now to 720. Like I'm slowly gonna get there.
I think everyone's gonna get there.
Yeah. And then this channel, when I came back, like now we're at like at 360 subs. So yeah, get this channel up, and I'll be part of the 1,000 member club.
Heck yeah, man! Heck yeah!
Oh my gosh!
Oh man!
Lots of good things.
And also, well, speaking of channels, we're all talking about how channels are doing whatever. Evercanadian's presence means we do officially have GTC energy in the chat. Just putting it out there. Yeah, I gotta throw it up for the club. I just have to.
Nice.
So all right. Well, now I gotta go get more machines so I can pull them apart.
Yeah.
It's like for everyone that's wondering why I keep showing you random computer parts. The reason I'm here is because there's gonna be a giant truck that's gonna show up tomorrow, and they're gonna take away all my my old tech recycling, but I have to like pull all the drives because they can't have the data that's on it. So I've got to like pull apart all the things, and then I keep the RAM because when you get a Frankenstein machine, you got some RAM. So
you never know. Oh, yeah. Hey, congrats, Mike. He's almost at 300.
Mike over 300. Let's go. Everyone go. Everyone's watching this, even on replay. Go overhead. Mike Tendo Power. Hit the button. Hit the button for him. Hit the button for Geekstorian. I mean, hey, everybody's got.
Mike, that's awesome because I remember when he was a guest on this show, he was around like 120-ish. So yeah, dude, that's more than double.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Giant tasty chickens. Yeah, it just takes time, and you just gotta keep at it and all that good stuff. He's one closer. I was lax and something back to him. Nice. Pete, yeah, we know subbed to everybody. Yep. If 0 subs, yeah, that's true. Yeah, like if you know what, that I kind of funny that you say that because I know like people who like if you don't put out YouTube content and they just have like their personal channels, like sometimes people will have like 5 to 10 subs just because somebody found them. So I know like one of my older channels where I never did anything, like people just did that, never uploaded anything publicly. That's awesome, dude. You figured it out.
Every time somebody says subs, though, the only thing you think of is Crow. So thanks, Crow.
Nice. But yeah, so speak, and I'll admit. So what's interesting. So like, yeah, I might do. I don't know. I might make another video. I might make a video like a why. Well, like really, there wasn't time or limited on space for bringing up a handheld on the cruise ship, but I'll kind of maybe talk about that. But like, what's interesting, and I'll be transparent. Like when I, I see my brother-in-law in Houston on the Steam Deck. I'm gonna I'll probably bring in that with me. Because believe it or not, I get more battery life on that than I do my Evercade, and I don't have to decide to bring a bunch of carts with me.
Yeah. Well, we're turning this episode, Nick, of calling all retro gamers into a plus 101
certificate. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a flashback. Wow. Well, yeah. I mean, you've got a screwdriver, so you're already certified.
Yeah. Tonight's discussion is on hard drive parts.
Hey, nothing wrong with multitasking and doing that stuff.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, you know what? If it wasn't for the show, I'd be doing this with headphones on, just watching another thing, right? Yeah. A plus cert, let's go. Yeah. I should actually tell that I have a new assistant at work, and he needs to do his A plus. So she'll be like, you know what you should do? You should turn on YouTube and watch Calling All Retro Gamers.
That's hilarious. Oh my god, the curse of certifications and trying to keep things up to date.
Oh yeah, man. I'm about to go. I'm about to go the cybersecurity track.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, that's on my road. That's on my roadmap at some point.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to grow, right?
Yes.
If it's on YouTube or it's in your career, I mean, you got to keep going.
Yes. Yes, totally, for sure. Probably, and I'll say probably like the one of the most difficult but useless certs I'll say that I have right now, but I haven't had to use it in like 10 years is like, remember like Linux Solaris, that operating system?
Yeah.
I think like what was maybe the last version, like 9 or 10. Yeah, I have that, but I haven't had it. But there was a point in time where that was really popular, and the company that I work for, people would attach that, and on the 86 platform. So yeah, that was an interesting that was an interesting one. But yeah, so that was a useless now, not nearly as hard as like taking the Red Hat exam, but I like that because that's like physical, meaning that you just don't go through and like answer questions. You actually have to like do the stuff.
Yeah.
But that's daunting. I want to say like the last one I had in that was I didn't get the engineer because that's way up, but like the administrator, which is still hard. I think I was like back in 6.5. And what was daunting is when the company that I work for, like years ago, they used to have like Red Hat come down and get it every year, but like I had to go take it like at a college, and they had like a camera on you, and it was like very intimidating.
Yeah, no,
kind of cool that it's a simulator. But for those of you who don't know, unlike other tests, when you go through at the end, you immediately know if you pass or not. With Red Hat, I mean, essentially you reboot, you make sure all your startup scripts, you make sure everything is persistent, and then you get like an email a day or two later after somebody manually checks your work and runs a script. So fun stuff. And then if you ask for feedback, they just tell you need to know everything. I'm serious. They won't actually like most certs, whether you pass or fail, be like, oh, okay. And like Microsoft did this, you knew this. No, you just, you don't get to turn diddly squat. Like, really?
Right.
Anyways. But yeah, sadly though, I mean, with there was a point in time where like when I was young, like I used to like recompile kernels, put it on my laptop, mess with stuff. But once virtualization became a lot popular, you really don't see like Linux that much, or God, you don't even see Unix. But if you are an AIX administrator and you work for a company and you convince them to keep that AIX box, you've got a job for life. That's all I'll say.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's that is a thing, because like, who else is going to touch it?
I've had people tell me that. They're like, yeah, we're never getting rid of this big iron. I went to school to learn. Oh wow, COBOL and Fortran. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, man.
I think you're probably around our age. Yeah, wow, yeah. I better had filler. Cool. And we turned this into geek tech talk. Which I think we only did that to be inspired by what you have, because normally it's like we don't talk about that, to kind of get away from that. But hey, it's at a it's at a high level. But so kind of what winding down a little bit. So what's kind of interesting when I kind of talked to my buddies earlier today. So like I'll say this is like so Evercade is definitely like a niche. It's not for your average. It's for somebody who wants to play retro games, discover, and have physical media, right? Like if somebody who wasn't into retro game, if I'm being honest, wasn't into retro gaming, and they said they wanted an all-around gaming system, I wouldn't recommend that. But I wouldn't recommend an Xbox. Or I wouldn't recommend a PS5 either. You know what I'm saying? If somebody said I want to get into retro gaming and I like the collecting aspect, as a console, and I still stand by this, I still would recommend the Steam Deck. Unless you never want to play, unless like you don't want to play the device portably and you have a big budget and you can get a gaming PC. Just because like that thing, like you don't have to mod it. It's for your power user. You can fully customize it. You can play stuff out of the box, and you can also do emulation on it. So you can do like so much.
Right.
You can do, and that's why like really I've hardly fired up like my PS4 since then. Yeah, and I just feel like. Yeah, Steam Deck ruled. Like Valve priced it right. Like they did everything right. The Valve store goes away. That's the end of PC gaming, so you don't have to really worry about. Yeah. So, I hear you. I hear you, geek. You say you want a ROG Ally, but here's the biggest thing too, is that like I love the Steam Deck. But yeah, well the thing is that like Windows is not designed for handhelds. And like Pete can attest to this because he has Yes, it was the ROG Ally or the other one that like Windows is kind of too clunky really to be designed like for hand. Like you need an OS and an interface that's not. And then Windows is Windows. It has its own issue, So it's kind of like unless you want to use it as also like a portable PC, sure. But with it just works. You install stuff. The Proton layer. It's funny because there were like some developers, I know like Payday 2. There you go, remember? Ooh, that's dusty. Like Payday 2, they said they were going to stop. Like they said they were going to stop updating the native Linux version because like that is the one downside to just Linux gaming, is that because Linux is so dependent on libraries or things that something becomes updated, everything breaks. But with the Proton layer, that kind of solves that. So that's what's kind of neat about the Proton layer being on a Linux OS. You don't have those weird Windows issues, and you don't have those weird Linux issues. Like it just works.
Yeah.
And it's just, and not only that, but like Valve, like they fix stuff that devs don't. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. It's just crazy. Oh, Pete wants to know what you're doing. So Pete wants to know what you're doing.
Oh, so I'm taking the hard drives and RAM out of machines that we're going to recycle tomorrow because it's required by New Jersey state law to retain things that may or may not include data that we need to have retained for random purposes. So fun times. And I have to do it now because when we wake up in the morning, likely the truck that is supposed to get all this stuff is going to be here. And I just ran out of time because we're moving all sorts of other stuff in random places. So actually, you're here with me actually working.
Cool. So here's what's interesting. Like, yeah. So, but you don't have to do that. Let me share. Let me put this link in the chat. And this is what I love about Steam. The Steam Deck is the community is so friggin' fantastic. Like, if there's something that you want to do, somebody's like written a script for, and that's what's so great about Linux. Like somebody's written a script for it. And so you can see a few videos on this, but what's great is and I haven't tried this yet, but it's just a script you install and it supports Amazon, BattleNet, EA, Epic. It basically supports all these, and it's so far from what I've seen. Yeah. And you can even do like Xbox Game Pass easily, Hulu, YouTube. And it's very easy. Like you run the script and it opens up a window and you put a checkbox on what you want. It's like the easiest way. Like various like YouTubers out there have like made videos on it. I probably should.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, exactly. So here's the one thing I will say too about like with the Steam Deck is that in the beginning, like I made fun of it. I was like, they can't get this to work. How is it going to be compatible? This thing is awkward. Little did I know that they had gone through all these iterations and it's the most comfortable. And I followed the thing for 6 months. I followed, because yes, it was buggy initially along the way, but they weren't frying SD cards, or they weren't like making big mistakes like they were with the raw. I followed it, and then once I saw that like there's so much community support, Valve is fixing stuff, it's here to stay. Boom, and like for me, like I'm in no hurry for a Steam Deck too, because it plays everything that I want. I mean, it plays like a ton of plays all the indie games, and on average I get like, that's what's nuts, that I get more like battery life on it than I do Evercade, right? Like I get easily like around like 5 hours of battery life. I mean, there's like plugins where I go in and I tweak the CPU, I tweak it to use just the bare minimum that the game needs, and it's like, it's just it's just totally awesome. And I also feel the other reason too I went for Valve, because they're a known company, and I felt confident that like if it was dead on arrival, or there's something that needed to get fixed within its warranty, I would be able to do that. Versus like some of these other companies, like you may have trouble getting support. So that it's a big barrier to entry, because like it's at least in the US, like you're gonna pay $400, and then tax, at least for me, was like another $40. And then that's for the 64 gig model. You have to get at least you better float along. You have to at least get some type of like micro SD if you don't have one, and like that, like to get a good one, like for a 512 one, you could even get a 256, but that was like another $50. And then if you want a docking station, which you don't really need a type of Docker hub, I only wanted that for making YouTube content. That's all I use it for. It's mainly a charge station behind me, but for making YouTube content, and if I'm gonna like go into desktop mode. But even that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just, but really, realistically though, it's kind of like, think of it as like $500, but then like you've got a good. Oh, so funny that you so Geekstorian. So funny that you mentioned that. So what you have to do with Tetris Effect is that, like, initially when I played it out of the box, it was like, I'm like, what do you mean 2 hours? But you got to, like, with that game, you don't want to turn the graphics all the way down to low, because it's going to look like crap. Like, you want this. I think I put mine maybe on like low, medium, but you tweak the graphics the way that you want it. Then, then like I'll go in and like tweak the minimum wattage and everything. And you have to play the game to where it doesn't choke. Like you look at the bar at the top, and then like you throttle down the CPU. So I got it to where I can get 4 hours out of playing that game. Like I can just get 4 hours out of playing that game. But yeah, you have to tweak it a little bit. Like that, tweaking it, I don't mind, because that actually I have fun, and I do it once, and I get some type of satisfaction that I got more battery life out of it. So yeah, definitely like out of the box, you're maybe gonna have to do a little bit of tweaking, but it's not like going through the trouble of setting up like an emulator on your PC and having to download ROMs and find stuff. So yeah, I mean, to each their own. Or you can like with that, like Pete has it, like he's kept it stock and he loves it. So, but the Steam Deck gives you that flexibility, right? You can pretty much do whatever. I just think like something like the ROG Ally, I think they're if they want to compete with Steam Deck, they're going to have to make a Linux image. But here's the cool, crazy thing: at the end of the day, Valve doesn't care if because you're going to get your games from Steam anyway. So it doesn't matter what system you run it on, but all things lead back to Valve, which I think is great. I mean, yeah, you could go with Epic, or you could go with some other stuff. Yeah, yes.
The library isn't as big though.
Yeah, I think he was probably using that script, or I think actually Pete might have just installed it old school. But yeah, just installed like the Linux install. Yeah, you can run Diablo, runs very well on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so that's what I mean. Like you can't, unless it's just like some new AAA huge powerhouse. Okay, you might not be able to run it, but and then like people put out tweaks. There's like other scripts you can run to increase your VRAM and to like optimize some things because it's Linux. Yeah, you can really you can tweak it. The only thing I haven't done yet is you can undervolt your Steam Deck and overclock it. And what's interesting about that is depending, they call it like the Silicon Lottery. So depending, you may be able to overclock and underclock your device more depending like on the quality of the CPU that was printed. So it's like you undervolt it so it takes less power, but then you overclock it so you get better performance out of it. So like it doesn't. So it's like you get. So like at the end, if you do both at the end of the day, you get a little bit. You get like a little bit better performance without draining more battery. It's kind of crazy. Like, oh, what's his? Yeah, actually, what's that YouTuber? Let me find his channel, because he's like, Cryobyte. Yes, like if you've ever heard of like Cryobyte utilities. Yes, that's the guy, Cryobyte. You've heard of Cryo? He has like a script that like you can run to optimize stuff. So it's like, and that's like Linux. Oh my god, that's why Linux is just do the mainstream app. So yeah, if Pete can do it, anyone can. No, but seriously, I had to knock on Pete. Yeah. So yeah, it's the most versatile, and it's like it's going to be there, and that's why I've said before, even with the PS4, I always kind of felt like, well, some of that stuff someday is going to go away. That's why I never spent too much on games. Plus, with Steam, stuff goes on sale so much more frequently. It's not like Nintendo where they have a hold on some of those things and they're afraid they don't understand less is more. Right. Oh, Lord Jerem is asking you, Rich, have you had a chance of playing the Unsung Warriors beta?
Yeah, after the Fun for 5 I did on it, I played about another half hour, maybe an hour, and it's pretty cool. The only thing though is I'm terrible at the game, so I restarted a whole bunch of times, thinking like, oh well, maybe if I do something different, I can beat the. It's like the second boss. So it's like the guy with the it's like a I don't know, like a Grim Reaper guy with the bow and arrow or whatever it is, and I kept running into him over and over again, and he just trounces me because I can't get the jumps timed like good enough. And it's like everything else about the game is like amazing. I love the way it feels. I love the way you can like jump in midair and you get like that cool like triple slash or whatever, and you're like still like it's like you're Neo. You're in the middle of the air and you're like just whacking up things. It's super cool, but I'm terrible at those kind of games. So like I wasn't having any good luck.
Bosses are super. Oh, so one other thing, and so for those of you who kind of joined late, when I was on the Carnival Cruise, I did have an arcade, and I'll be making a separate video on this channel, show me playing, one of the Raw Thrills racing games. But when we were at Key West, at this like little, I don't want to kind of sort of a strip mall, so there was like a coffee shop where we got some Colombian coffee. Anyways, we had to go up this escalator to go to the bathroom, and out of the corner there was like this retro store, and I'm like, it's a very touristy area. It's going to be expensive as hell. Let me go in there. So I went in there. I kid you not. They had like, the Pac-Man like arcade one at Partycade. Yeah, they wanted $300 for that. My wife was like, how much do those sell for? I'm like, usually you can get it for half that. They had the Tiger Electronics, like the new remakes, but they were like 28 with like tax. It would have been like $30. I'm like, dude, they were like, I'm like,
really?
Yes. If they were $9.99, I would have probably bought like the Ninja Gaiden one, or I would have bought one, but not for 30. Like, they had these like little, like the little like Chinese knockoff handhelds that you see on Amazon for $15-$20 for like $50.
That's crazy.
That kind of look a lot like the new Hyper Megatech, kind of like that quality where I question.
Yeah.
Which I felt one of those, and they felt like really cheap. I'm like, but pretty much you get it because you have like your like younger children and you need to keep them occupied so you can have some peace and quiet. That's like why you'd buy that. But like they like had He-Man figure, but everything was like super expensive. And like they had like Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and like this one guy was being weird, like why is this one? I guess I kind of overheard some conversation like, why does one card go for so much? How do I know? And like and like the lady by the counter had to like explain to him like depends upon the condition, and he was wanting to look at it. She's like, as per like company or store policy, I can't take it out of the protective sleeves. And I don't know if he was just like dumb or if he was pretending to be dumb. I'm like, dude, stop it. I was like thinking like, does this guy even play Yu-Gi-Oh? Anyways, but yeah. I thought about, and then they did have like some machines on the, like they had like a legit Popeye and Mario Brothers, but it was like $2 a swipe, and we didn't really have much time. But what was interesting, and they also had like I think a Mortal Kombat 2, is when I played with like I could tell those were real machines, not only where they looked, but the controls were tight. And then they had like one of those like bastardized multi-cage that you see, and actually the joystick on it was worse than an arcade one-up.
Oh, okay.
Like those are like super like loose, like you couldn't. I'm like, I played those before, and I'm like, man, that really sucks. But yeah, they kind of had a little area on the outside, and then it was kind of neat to see. But you could tell it was like one of those like sucker tourist store. I'm like, I wanted to really like find a little something, but I'm like, dude, I'm not going to pay 3 times the price of something that I could get on eBay.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just to have need apple slices. It's kind of one of those things where if they had like if there is a Tetris one, maybe there's a Tiger. Like I don't know. If it was like $9.99, I'm like that because that's something more of a novelty. Like I'll play it a little bit, but not really. Oh my god. Just walking by all types.
I'm filling up this U-boat. Like we have.
I don't think you've scanned the audience yet. Have you scanned our viewers yet?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, just, there you
Ah! That's great. We were doing that like before the show. I just wanted to,
go.
wanted to see that.
The spreadsheet is filling up pretty good.
Nice.
I like it. I mean, and I'm more than halfway there, I think, with whatever I need to do. That's also good. Phantom's like, my eyes.
But yeah, anybody?
Also, wait. So
yeah,
speaking of my eyes, anyone else that's here, like that has visited my channel in the last 40 or 24 hours. So StreamYard, I'm mad. I'm mad at StreamYard.
Uh-oh.
Like I'm mad. Because that 40-something minute video I did was pretty much mostly ruined by the fact that I tried to do that like background music thing. And in my headphones, I could barely hear the background music. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This is pretty good. In reality, though, it was way too loud.
Oh, no.
And I can't separate the tracks. So, like, the reason why there isn't a video, well, the reason why there isn't a video today, like, because I was going to redo it, is like, I'm literally in a basement right now scanning recycling. So, I like, if you thought I didn't have time, or if you thought I might have had time to do it, like, no. But that will be coming because I'll do like a 9-minute roundup of my 45-minute video, going over all my stuff. But I do want to include like some background tunes because I do think it's kind of cool and it actually helps people like get through longer videos and stuff. But man, there's so many comments. There's so many comments on that. Oh, thanks, Phantom.
Yeah.
But dude, there were so many comments on the video today. It's like, dude, the music is so loud. The music's too loud. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
So you were using just the built-in StreamYard feature where you could just like upload an audio file?
Correct.
Background music.
Yep.
Was it just like by default? Was it just like turned up too loud and then you had your headphones turned down so you thought it was good?
I turned it down right to like 12 or something like that, 12 volume. And then I was like, oh man, like what happened? But when I had the studio, like I have my studio headphones in all the time, right? Because I listen, like it feeds back what I'm saying, right? So I can get live audio. But I could barely hear the music. So I was like, oh, I guess the levels are good. But when I went to play it back, it was just like 2 or 3 dB higher than I would probably like it to be.
Yeah.
But but it was enough for people to be like, ah. So I was like,
so
all right,
like louder. So it's like
my bad. I tried.
So it's like it's like this feature.
You're right. Yep. But even this is loud, right? I can hear it out of these speakers, and it's a little loud. So
maybe that's better. I don't know.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell me.
That's definitely better. So yeah.
Wait, that audio for the win. But no, it is it's definitely cool to have that, and StreamYard makes it so easy to kind of do.
Mr. Shua says, nothing beats the Star Wars INTV resto. Yes, absolutely. 100%. I cannot believe I actually did that. See you, Pete.
Oh, Karsten, you
yeah, what's up, Karsten?
I was gonna say you missed my pre-Evercast rant on the whole Hyper Megatech thing, so
oh yeah,
you may want to rewind.
Yeah, man. Like I was, it was a crazy day. And when I actually did the whole thing, I honestly did not know what the cart. Like I thought I was actually cleaning a 2600 cart. I swear to you guys.
Oh, dude, that was my favorite. I
swear to you that I honestly thought it was an Atari 2600 cart. Up until the moment I tried to put it into the Retron, and I'm like, why is this fitting in the Retron? I'm like, oh my goodness,
dude. What was funny? What was funny about, and that was like, I probably laughed at that more than I should. Is I kept like waiting, like he's gonna be like, no, guys, just kidding. I kept waiting for that. I'm like, oh no, this is legit. Like I thought like you like were like pranking us like at first.
Right.
And then you just
cool, right?
And you're like, I'm just silly. And then you were like so baffled. This is just silly. I'm super, and I love that like you didn't cut that. You just like let yourself go on for a minute like that. It was just like hilarious. Well, here's the thing.
As soon as I realized that was what happened, it was like, one, this has to happen now.
Yeah.
And two, everyone that needs to like I'm honest, right? I'm honest with myself. And I'm like, whatever, it's fine. Yeah, like somebody's gonna watch it like 2 years from now to be like, oh, you should have known that the gold and the silver are different. I was like, yeah, I know it now.
It's an easy mistake. No, I mean, because they do look very similar. But my favorite line was, "Well, this cart's really clean," or you said like this, this cart's clean. It's really clean. That's like, yeah, that's true. You're like, yeah, I'll make another video. We'll test it. But that's no. But
well, so now what I got to do though is I have a I have an INTV 1 and 2, so like I can just clean them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were both downstairs. They were both one of them. Or two of them were complete in box with the wrappings. So I don't know if that's good or bad though, because like usually with the plastic wrappings on things, sometimes it retained water more than usual. So like some of that stuff might be just pulped. But
so with some of those, like so with that, like, are you just gonna like pop in like connect a VCR to a TV, and then that way you can just just do the RF to that? And
because I have so I have. I think I showed it in a couple videos. I have a ColecoVision, and I have it connected directly to a regular. I found actually yard find. I found a flat panel. Was it Philips? Yeah, flat panel Philips, like 27-inch TV tube. So like, and it takes all the different classic connections. So I just hooked up the ColecoVision and I just run it on that. Yes,
dude. So you have a Metal Jesus Rocks TV. I think he has one of the where it was kind of like before flat panels, and when they're phasing out CRTs. It was kind of like those hybrid, like those like real kind of like thick, those like hybrids that had like all the old connections and the new connections. Yeah, those are like the perfect retro gaming TV. And I think
it's cool. I really dig it. And literally somebody put it. It was 3 doors down from my house. They just put it outside one morning on a Monday. It's a garbage day, and I was like, I was like, "Are you sure? Like this actually works? Like you can get money for this, right?" And they're like, "It's whatever." I'm like, "Okay,
dude." Yeah, no, that's perfect because I want to say it's like the best quality you can kind of get, and it has all the different connections and
yeah. It looks great. Someone actually commented the day I did the it was the too many games takeover where I tried to play the NES card that I got from the guy from BitGen Games. And I mean, it couldn't get it to work, but I got Flying Warriors, which was actually already in the NES that I brought over. And it, like I just played Flying Warriors in the background as I was talking about the game. So
what's funny about that? Because you use the Game Genie adapter, and so just seeing that on TV was very nostalgic for me because I know having a Nintendo, like I abused the hell out of that as a kid, meaning played so many games, put games in and out. And I think that it got to a point where like I would have to before the Game Genie existed, I'd put in one game and then you'd have to have another game on top of it just to kind of hold the spring down. And then I remember at some point where that was I had to use all my games with the Game Genie. I don't know, maybe because it probably bent the spring, just from using it. So I was like, put in the Game Genie. There you go. That's fixes everything.
Right.
It's like an adapter. No, because the thing, it's funny since you mentioned that video because I was thinking, hopefully you'll be able to either find another way you can test that or get another cart. Because I was, what I mean? Like, was it just a bad, what I mean? Like, I kind of want to know, was it just a bad cart or is it the Nintendo or what, what I mean?
Oh, well, the BitGen game?
Yeah.
I want to say it's the NES because the Game Genie is actually, so the pins on the pin set in the console, I think they're pressed too much, and I have to use the Game Genie with a cart in order for it to read, and it'll read every manufactured NES cart that I've ever put in there. One because it's it's a self-pressing, so maybe the Galoob adapter doesn't recognize it as an NES game, so it just doesn't load it.
Yeah, I remember you explaining. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping it is.
But no, as far as the latency, Shua, on the TV, it's a regular CRT tube.
Yes.
So it's fine. I don't know this latency at all. Just to to put it out there. So, and I've played on many a tube. There used to be one that I had. I had an old Zenith, early HD TV. They made HD TV like 720p tube televisions, and that was right before the advent of the rear projection HD TVs, and I had one of those. It was like 125 pounds or something like that.
Yeah.
It was insanely heavy, but dude, the screen quality, man, for back then, it was awesome.
I'll be honest. I've seen in my neighborhood people put out like a few of those like monster projector TVs, and I'm like, not only do I would love that. Like, not only do I have nowhere to put that in my house, I don't even know if I could move it a block down the street. Like, those were like,
dude, it's those TVs. I mean, nowadays when I see them, it's like finding like a little bar of gold. So I have to go grab it. But...
So what's confusing is that it's a flat.
Oh yeah.
What's confusing? It's not an LCD, but it's like that CRT that's a flat screen.
Yeah, you're talking like about something like this.
Yeah.
This is actually a plasma, which is it's even better. But
yeah.
But yeah, the early edition LCD TVs, the LCD flat panels. Actually, there's another one that's actually right behind me. Those do have bad lag, because that was like they came out during the Guitar Hero years, and you always had to adjust for latency on those games, especially on a television like that. So, inflatable, yeah, one of those inflatable projector screens. Yeah, man, I've got one of those like the roll up 100-foot screens, and they're going. It's one of them is going in my Studio B. For those of you in the GTC, you guys know what that means. We're actually going to hang a 100-foot projector screen from one of the rafters back there, and it's gonna be awesome times. Just saying. So, but yeah. So I gotta get I gotta keep grabbing printers, and I keep moving on this.
Alrighty. Well, I think we're winding things. I think we're winding things down a little bit.
Yeah. It's been fun. It's been fun hanging out here, ripping apart machines and talking tech and retro.
Heck yeah. So I know we keep making the following broken promises, but we will plan on honoring them. I know we keep saying we're getting back to guests. We will. Stuff like this happens, but
the last show we did was a guest.
Yes. And I know you guys maybe don't care as much, but I say this out loud because I like to hold us accountable. Which we will get back into. We will definitely get back into, into doing that. I just life thing happen. I will be getting on my own channel. I'll be getting into doing memberships and all kinds of stuff like that. Next week might be game of the month. Like I said, I might talk about why I didn't bring my Evercade on the cruise ship. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Hopefully, I'll be able to join Evercast this Saturday from an undisclosed location. If not, it'll be the other three guys talking about it. And I'm sure next week we'll see more Cool Rich's restorations and.
Yep. Yeah. So we had the early one this week. So there won't be one tomorrow because there was one on Tuesday.
Yeah.
That was the tribute episode for my work colleague Ray. And it was a good one to do. I thought that was pretty cool.
Are you doing a card 1 coin?
Yeah, there'll be a 1 credit quick look. Yep,
cool. 1 credit.
It's Crimson Cross's last request for that post.
Oh, what's funny though? I was going to say that last game that you did. I thought that was funny that is one of the games that's on the Taito.
Oh yeah. When I was talking about it, I'm like, oh hey, maybe we'll get a Taito thing, and then they announced the Hyper Mega Tech, and I'm like, I wonder if it's yep, that game's on there.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. Jack and Pop. All right.
Yeah.
It's an okay game. Like I rated it as at least 1 more credit and possibly a 1 and done. But only if I could, only if I could learn the controls a little more.
Exactly. See, that's the kind of thing. Like if I was in the arcade, that would have been a 1 and done. Playing on emulation, like you said, if I could learn the controls, or if I was in the arcade and I watched somebody else. Put in a quarter, and I figured out. Oh, then maybe I would dump in another one.
Right. Shua though. Yeah, I mean, speaking of the GTC, the join button's right there on the Bacon Ice Cream Productions homepage, man. You want to come in and hang out with us? Yeah, come on, man. Love to have you. For sure. High score challenges coming. Oh, and why not, right? I'd love to do some like, man, I miss those. Because it gets you playing the game in different ways, right? Because if you're playing for score, like we play these games for fun most of the time, right? Just to just chill,
True.
right? Just to hang out. But yeah, every once in a while, it's good to like hone the skill a little. But until somebody goes like, oh hey, let's play all these shooters, and I'm like, I'm terrible at these.
Well, what we might be able to do, because once with my new selfie stick, the / tripod that I've been talking about, probably what we could at least do on Karg that might be kind of fun, which I would imagine if I'm able to play, I mean, I could hook in my Steam Deck, but if I'm able to play it here and have a camera pointed at it, I do have Corn Ops X on it. You've got Corn Ops X on on the other, we could maybe do like a live arcade score challenge, and then of course maybe sometime on Evercast we could always do that with the other
things that would be cool. I mean, well, we keep threatening like looking into jam.gg/
yes, that too. Those are one of the other things, the other promises.
Yeah, I mean, like I want to try a show where we try to like do that.
Yeah.
And then like all of us hop in and the thing, and then the full screen is just the like we full screen just the jam.gg screen.
Yep.
We can actually join in with our cameras and stuff that way.
Yep. The other thing we keep threatening is updating, and definitely when we get to 500 subs, which we're getting dangerously close, then we're going to have to update the intro.
Oh well, yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, at that point is no.
Because I was like, you know what? I just recently did the trailer on my own channel. I'm like, we really,
Oh yeah, we need to do it because we need to get all the other awesome guests. Like we need to get them in there. So.
The other thing too that I'll tease that once we do get to 500 subs, and we will be offering memberships, we might offer something fun like, hey, if you want to be part of the intro, maybe there's a certain membership. There's certain cool.
We'll definitely like figure out something that's fun. We always have fun stuff like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of guests, though,
yep.
Like I got to talk to you because like somebody reached out and said like they might want to come back and say hi again.
Ooh, yeah. So we'll definitely get back on that. Another thing, just kind of tease out there that we may want to do if you guys are interested. So Rich has memberships on his channel.
Yep.
I'm going to have memberships on my channel. Once this gets to memberships, we've thought about doing something.
It's not the Good Times Club is not a Discord thing. It's the tier of the join button on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Shula. Yeah. So if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll see a join button on the Bacon Ice Cream Productions main page, and then like joining, there's only one tier, and it's the Good Times Club, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Then you're in.
Yeah. So we one thing we've considered doing to kind of like for crossover to the channel, something that like if you're at a membership here and you're at a membership of Rich's and mine, then maybe there's like a special like trifecta Holy Trinity. I don't know what we'd call, but just stuff like that we're throwing out there to make it more more interactive. Because like for us, like we want to kind of treat this as more like a Patreon, because I've looked at some other YouTubers and people just kind of put it there as like an add-in with a one membership level. But you can tell like Rich does a lot of like cool active stuff on his channel. So like I want to do that. We want to roll it over here because I think that's what YouTube designed it for. Not that everybody has to. So yeah, and it's just really for more fun stuff, just to get you guys to be like interactive. That's all.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the whole idea for me is it's like if I'm going to have memberships at all, like if you guys are actually like willing to support me, I'm going to support you, and I'm going to give you stuff that no one else gets.
Exactly.
And that's like we're building like an insular community at that point.
Exactly.
Like, like, hey, you guys really like this stuff. Like, okay, let's roll.
Yeah, so. It's a way to support a channel. Throw them an extra couple bucks. Maybe we can upgrade our YouTube equipment, or we can get some other cool thing to test out.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, cool. We're also getting dangerously close on the bacon ice cream side of things, which actually affects this channel directly too. To having enough to upgrade here our StreamYard.
Oh, nice.
There's another tier of StreamYard that we could be at, but it's literally double the price of what I pay for it now. But the first upgrade that I would like to do with stuff that comes out of the GTC is upgrade here, so that way all of our videos, instead of being 720p, will be 1080.
Ooh.
So, yep.
That would be excellent. So yeah, it's just exactly. It's just you said, so I think what you have to do is you have go to Bacon Ice Cream Productions, and then is it to the right of it? There's an icon where you can click on membership.
It's right next to the subscribe button. It's like the subscribe button and then the join button, and then you just hit the join button. You can't do it on mobile though. So if you're watching on mobile, it doesn't show it on mobile. You have to do it on a PC. That's the other thing. Yeah, that's kind of a sad face. I wish they would update that on YouTube mobile, but they don't have that thingy yet. So
you have a Discord.
You have a Discord though. Yeah, I mean I never promote it, but yes, there is a Discord. So it is pretty cool. You guys should hang out. I should probably start putting it in my show notes, which I will eventually. But yeah, we hang out. It's like I said, it's pretty decent. There's even now we have people that are interacting. I have work friends in there now, which is pretty cool on the BIC. So yeah. So all right. You can scroll over on mobile. Mobile is all I use. Oh, all right. I didn't know that.
Good to know.
Yeah. That is definitely pretty cool. Oh yeah, and Lord Jim. Yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, Mr. Shu was that's why I can't find it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So, see, Lord Jim knows what's going on, and he's in the GTC, spreading the GTC energy all over the place. It's great.
That's awesome. But yeah, that's kind of why we do this. Is we love the interactivity, we love the communities and the membership.
Yeah. Well, it's the absolute best. I cannot wait to get to the next phase, because we're really, really just getting in to the height of the season for me. What I do, what some of the main parts of why my channel exists is to really shed light on awesome causes. And Chris is about to start doing the stuff for his walk, for the walk to Alzheimer's. And it's getting dangerously close to NFL season, and you guys know what that means. That means the Jets-Pats game means I go to MetLife and force people to play retro games.
Oh, that'll be great to see.
Parking lot, and then I do a 1.5 mile to 2 mile walk around MetLife. For that's the actual walk kind of thing. So it'll be pretty cool.
Are you gonna bring your EXP standard
to MetLife? I will probably actually bring the VS.
Oh no! When you have people play.
Yeah, I'm going to bring the VS.
Oh, even better. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Good.
I have a stand, and I'm going to bring a 32-inch television, and I have a portable AC DC converter.
Gotcha. No, because I know last time you were fighting Mother Nature with the sun.
Oh yeah.
That's why.
On the OG handhelds, yes. I had them all playing in the OG. It was not amazing.
Yeah.
But
cool.
We're stepping it up a notch.
No, I like that better with the VS, because then it kind of makes it seem more official, and other people can watch on the screen. And
yep, for sure.
That'll be that'll be cool to see, and all good stuff. So I think we're good. And again, we appreciate everyone's interactivity and the way how this channel has grown, and the stable amount of people that watch it and rewatch it, and we're getting there. And the more you guys support us, the more we want to support back and do more stuff, and it's all.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah, thanks so much, guys, for just hanging out. It's because it's the best. You guys are the best. So, all right. Well,
all right. I will roll that outro, and thanks everyone, and goodbye.
See you guys.
Calling all retro gamers.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.